And next up we have Errol Lam again, so please give him another round of applause.
First of all, I want to say to you, just give me the name of Howard Zinn. For those of you who do not know Howard Zinn is, I think it's about time to find out. And your life might be changed. So be careful if you start reading Howard Zinn, all right? Howard Zinn told us that, he told us a lot of things, but just remember, one of the things he told us is that history is not made by presidents and people in the news. History is made by the people in the streets. And you don't read about history in the streets because the people who control the media and all over do not tell us about the people in the streets. So history is, if you take in history, you need to take a different type of history and kind of read Howard Zinn. Just for 5 seconds, could we have like complete silence just in memory of this gentleman? 5 seconds. Thank you. Okay, then. Now here's words from Howard Zinn. He had many words that he said, but he said, among other things, he said this, and maybe it's coincidental after last night, but this was said many, many years ago. The state of the nation is described in universal terms. When the president declares happily that, quote, our economy is sound, unquote, he will not acknowledge that it is not sound for 40 or 50 million people who are struggling to survive. Although it may be moderately sound for many in the middle class, and extremely sound for the richest 1% of this country, people who own 40%, it might be more now, who own 40% of the nation's wealth. Remember that class interest has always been observed behind the all-encompassing veil that is called, quote, the national interest, unquote. Thank you. The second part, I want to kind of, maybe it's a trilogy, let's say the past, the present, and the future. Represented by three different things, right? Number one, the past. For those of you who may know about the struggle in South Africa before apartheid was destroyed, there were many people besides Nelson Mandela who worked hard, who went to jail whatsoever, and were in the struggle behind the scenes. We're not known publicly, but the point is that there are other people other than Nelson Mandela, all right? Not to discredit Nelson Mandela. One of them was the name of Dr. Dennis Brutus. Dr. Dennis Brutus, he died around Christmas time last year. Many of you probably don't know who he is. He was in jail with Nelson Mandela and Robben Island for a while, and the ANC people. And he actually came to Bowling Green several years ago. We don't have these type of people coming here anymore. So maybe it's good, maybe it's not, maybe who knows. But he is one of Africa's best poets. Best meaning very effective. And you don't know about him because this university will not teach you about people like Dr. Dennis Brutus. When he came here, he left us with a poem, and this is the past, right? Political prisoners, with people who were put in jail in South Africa because of their political standing. And this is what he wrote. We just got this. Sometimes they squat on the floor, sometimes they crouch in corners, sometimes like empty sack, they spread limply on the ground. And sometimes in damp, dark patches, they sit like moldy vegetables. They are the political prisoners who nurse in their broken flames the frail flame of humanity while monsters try to stuff them out. It burns these men and women, splendid and unquenchable as the red miles of the sunset. That's what he told us when he came. He left that poem with us. That's the past, right? Let's say it's finished in South Africa, that way. The present. I think the present was at the beginning. That's Dr. Zinn, what I said about the state of the nation. Remember, the people in power do not tell us about people who suffer. They use the terminology national interest to define the ones who are in power. They don't tell us about the people who are not and do not have a voice. Okay, the future. And ever since I heard this term, it will always live in me. The term is called Sing Our Own Song. Sing Our Own Song. For those of you who do know, the reggae group from England called UB40. UB40 became very, very popular, very influential in the world. Sang about apartheid, South Africa, and everything. English guys who UB40 is a form used in England for when you're going to apply for unemployment benefits, and that's where they got their name. They were not working, they were applying for benefits, and they used the form UB40, and that is what their name became. But they left us with one song, and the words are like this. Sing our own song. The great flood of tears that we've cried for our brothers and sisters who died over 400 years have washed away our fears and strengthened our pride. Now we turn back the tide. We will no longer hear your command. We will seize control from your hand. We will fan the flame of our anger and pain. And you'll feel the shame for what you do in God's name. The chorus goes, we will fight for the right to be free. We will build our own society, and we will sing our own song. Second verse goes, when the ancient drum rhythms ring, the voice of our forefathers sings, forward, Africa, run. Our day of freedom has come for me and for you. Amandla Awetu. It means the struggle continues. Amandla Awetu. When you are in struggle, the one thing that carries you forward is song. Song takes you forward. The last verse then goes, we will fight for the right to be free. We will build our own society. We will sing and we will sing. We will sing our own song. Thank you.